Imagine tossing and turning at night, your knees throbbing from a long day, your digestion feeling completely backed up and sluggish, and looking in the bathroom mirror only to see tired, dry, dull skin staring back at you. It can often feel like, as we transition into our 50s, 60s, and beyond, our bodies just start handing us a brand new, frustrating maintenance bill every single morning. We spend a fortune on expensive anti-aging night creams, over-the-counter pain relievers, and complex fiber supplements just trying to feel a sense of normalcy. But what if I told you that a thick, sticky, almost old-fashioned oil sitting quietly on the bottom shelf of your local health food store could go to work on almost all of these issues while you are fast asleep? You have probably heard the whispers about castor oil recently on social media or from a friend. It is taking the wellness internet by storm, but let us be completely honest here for a second. This is not some flashy, newly invented biohacking trend or a synthetic miracle cure. People have been using the oil extracted from the seeds of the Ricinus communis plant for thousands of years, tracing all the way back to traditional Ayurvedic medicine and ancient Egyptian practices. So why the sudden massive resurgence in popularity? The truth is, modern science is finally catching up to the exact biological mechanisms that our grandparents seem to inherently know all along. Before we get into the precise science of what happens when you rub this stuff on your body right before getting into bed, do me a quick favor. Let me know in the comments below if you remember your own parents or grandparents ever keeping a dusty bottle of castor oil in the family medicine cabinet. I always love reading those nostalgic stories from you all. Now, let us dive deep into the 12 completely strange, but heavily scientifically proven things this incredible oil does while you are catching your Z's. The absolute most profound thing that starts happening when you massage high-quality, cold-pressed castor oil into your skin before bed is a deep, localized reduction in joint inflammation. If you are someone who wakes up with stiff fingers, or you have knees that aggressively ache the moment you try to swing your legs out of bed in the morning, you really need to understand how this works. The secret weapon hidden inside castor oil is a compound called ricinoleic acid. This is a highly unique 18-carbon fatty acid that actually makes up nearly 90% of the oil's entire profile. When you apply it topically to your skin, it does not just sit there on the surface like most cheap lotions. Its molecular structure allows it to penetrate deeply through the thick epidermis layers and travel right down into the underlying tissue, muscle fibers, and joint spaces. Once it gets there, it essentially acts as a powerful, targeted anti-inflammatory agent. The ricinoleic acid actively binds to specific cellular receptors in your body that modulate the signals for pain and swelling. You can think of it like a soothing, lubricating balm for the rusty hinges of your body. Instead of waking up feeling like the Tin Man before he finally gets his oil can, the ricinoleic acid spends the entire night quietly calming down the oxidative stress trapped in those joint capsules. It actively increases local blood circulation to the applied area, drawing fresh, oxygen-rich blood to the aching joint, while simultaneously sweeping away the cellular metabolic waste that causes that stiff, puffy, immobile feeling. A lot of folks have found incredible relief simply by rubbing a dime-sized amount directly onto their aching knees, shoulders, or arthritic knuckles right before hitting the pillow. It is a slow, steady, therapeutic process that works in perfect tandem with your body's natural, overnight repair cycle to help you maintain your mobility and independence. But what if physical pain is not the primary thing keeping you awake? What if you're just one of the millions of people who stare at the dark ceiling for hours on end, dealing with a racing, anxious mind or classic stubborn insomnia? This brings us to one of the most surprising and unconventional uses for castor oil, acting as a gentle, incredibly natural sleep aid. When sleep simply refuses to come, a lot of people understandably reach for strong, over-the-counter sleep medications. The problem is, those pills can often leave you feeling groggy, completely wiped out with a sleep hangover the next day, or worse, feeling dependent on a chemical just to catch a few hours of decent rest. Castor oil offers a much more gentle, holistic approach to calming the nervous system. Believe it or not, many people are actually dabbing a tiny microscopic drop of pure castor oil lightly across their eyelids just minutes before getting into bed. It sounds completely bizarre and maybe a little messy, I know, but the oil absorbs quickly into the extremely thin skin of the eyelids and has a deeply relaxing grounding effect on the surrounding nerves. If putting a thick oil that near your actual eyes makes you a little nervous, which is completely understandable, there is an even better and highly effective alternative method. You can easily blend a few drops of castor oil with a deeply calming essential oil, like pure therapeutic-grade lavender, chamomile, or rose oil. Take that soothing mixture and massage it directly into your temples, the tight muscles at the back of your neck, and even behind your ears. The heavy castor oil acts as an incredible carrier lipid, pulling those relaxing aromatic essential oil compounds deep into your skin and bloodstream. This natural aromatherapy combination helps to actively lower your resting heart rate, soothe frayed nerves, and signal to your overactive brain that it is finally time to power down for the night. While you are resting peacefully and finally getting that deep sleep, castor oil can also go to work on one of the most frustrating, uncomfortable problems we face as our digestive systems naturally start to slow down over the years: chronic constipation. Now, we absolutely have to talk about the critical difference between taking this oil orally versus applying it topically, because there is a massive difference in how your body reacts. For many decades, taking a giant spoonful of awful-tasting castor oil was the dreaded old-school remedy for a severely backed-up gut. It works internally as a very strong stimulant laxative. When you swallow it, your small intestine works hard to break it down into that same ricinoleic acid we talked about earlier. This acid directly binds to the smooth muscle cells lining your intestinal walls, causing them to forcefully contract and physically push everything through your digestive tract. It is undeniably effective, which is why hospitals sometimes still utilize it to clear patients out entirely before medical procedures like a colonoscopy. However, taking it by mouth can be incredibly harsh on your system. It is known to cause severe abdominal cramping, overwhelming nausea, and sometimes explosive results that might leave you severely dehydrated and depleted of vital electrolytes. That is precisely why many modern functional medicine doctors and holistic practitioners now strongly recommend the topical approach instead, utilizing the famous castor oil pack by thoroughly soaking a large piece of organic, unbleached cotton flannel in pure castor oil and placing it directly over your liver and lower abdomen while you sleep. You can stimulate that exact same digestive movement without the violent, painful cramping. The oil slowly absorbs right through the abdominal skin, gently encouraging natural peristalsis and helping to calm an inflamed, heavily bloated gut. Of course, if you are struggling with daily chronic constipation, you also want to make sure you are firmly nailing the dietary basics. That means eating plenty of fiber-rich beans, hydrating constantly with clear broths and water, and getting a healthy dose of good probiotics from plain yogurt or kefir to support the gut lining, to call it. Now, shifting gears completely from the inside of your belly to the very top of your head, let us talk about long-term hair health and retention. As the years effortlessly go by, it is a completely normal part of the aging process to notice our hair slowly thinning out, losing its youthful luster, or realizing that our eyebrows are getting a little sparse and patchy. Castor oil is an absolute, undisputed powerhouse for hair rejuvenation and scalp health. When you take the time to deeply massage it into your scalp before bed, perhaps mixed with a few drops of circulation-boosting rosemary oil, or a much lighter carrier lipid like jojoba oil, so it is not too impossibly thick and sticky to wash out, it does something truly magical. It drastically and noticeably increases the micro blood flow directly to your dormant hair follicles. Those tiny follicles desperately need a constant supply of raw nutrients and oxygen to thrive and produce thick, strong, resilient hair strands. By improving the microcirculation at the deepest root level, castor oil essentially feeds your hair from the outside in. There is also some truly fascinating emerging research suggesting that the potent ricinoleic acid might actively help balance certain localized disruptive hormones on the scalp that directly contribute to accelerated hair loss. Beyond growth, it is also a fantastic heavy-duty detangler and an intense deep conditioner for dry, brittle ends. If you lightly coat your split ends in it, pop on a comfortable shower cap to protect your pillowcase, and sleep on it for 8 hours, you are giving your hair a deeply hydrating, salon-quality overnight mask. Just a quick practical heads up, though. Because castor oil is so incredibly dense and viscous, you will absolutely need to shampoo your hair at least twice in the morning to get it all completely washed out. Otherwise, you might look a little greasy and weighed down. But the ultimate payoff of smooth, frizz-free, wonderfully resilient hair is entirely worth that extra few minutes of lathering in the shower. Beyond the wonderful cosmetic benefits for your hair, the overnight healing magic of castor oil extends incredibly deeply into your body's vital immune system. This is perhaps the most crucial, yet constantly overlooked, benefit of utilizing this ancient remedy. Your body has a vast, complex internal network called the lymphatic system. The easiest way to visualize it is to think of it as your body's dedicated internal sewage pump and trash removal service. It is solely responsible for constantly gathering up dead cellular waste, excess trapped fluids, invading proteins, and environmental toxins, and safely flushing them out of your system. Unlike your cardiovascular circulatory system, which relies on your strong heart to constantly pump blood around the clock, your lymphatic system does not have a central automatic pump. It relies almost entirely on your physical daily movement, deep diaphragmatic breathing, and regular muscle contractions to keep that vital fluid moving. When we sit in a chair all day long, or as our general activity levels inevitably drop with age, this entire drainage system gets incredibly stagnant. This dangerous stagnation leads directly to a sluggish, compromised immune system, swollen and tender lymph nodes, and a heavy, lingering feeling of general fatigue. When you regularly apply a castor oil pack over your abdomen, or just manually massage the thick oil into your skin before bed, it acts remarkably like a manual override switch for that sluggish internal plumbing. The oil actively stimulates the rapid production and fluid movement of lymphocytes. These are the crucial white blood cells that act as your immune system's absolute frontline soldiers, fighting off invading germs and managing inflammation. It actively helps physically drain that stagnant toxic fluid, deeply supports the health and function of the thymus gland, and ensures your body is efficiently and aggressively detoxifying itself while you peacefully dream. It is literally helping you wake up as a cleaner, more resilient human being on a deep cellular level. This incredible, undeniable regenerative power is also precisely why castor oil is a brilliant secret weapon for rapidly healing minor daily cuts, unexpected scrapes, and irritating skin abrasions. Now, obviously, we have to use common sense here. If you have a deep, gaping, serious wound, or a wound that is showing angry signs of a major infection, you absolutely need to go see a licensed medical professional immediately. Do not try to treat severe trauma with holistic oils. But for those annoying, everyday little scratches from doing yard work, painful paper cuts, or even minor, stinging kitchen burns, dabbing a tiny bit of pure castor oil on the affected area before you go to sleep can drastically speed up the natural tissue healing process. In fact, many high-grade, clinical wound care ointments used every single day in actual hospitals, such as the widely known Venilex, actually list pure castor oil as a primary active ingredient. It is often powerfully combined with something called balsam of Peru for maximum efficacy. The primary reason it works so incredibly well is that fresh wounds actually require a continuously moist, protected environment to heal properly and efficiently. When a fresh wound dries out too fast and forms a hard, tight scab, prematurely, it takes much longer to fully heal and is significantly more likely to leave a permanent raised scar. Castor oil provides a thick, highly protective, natural antimicrobial barrier that successfully locks in essential moisture while simultaneously lowering the localized, throbbing pain and swelling thanks to its inherent anti-inflammatory properties. It actively prevents the delicate, newly forming skin cells from drying out and prematurely dying off, giving your body the absolute perfect, uninterrupted environment to repair the damaged tissue over the course of the night. Here is a completely fascinating, incredibly practical use that you might not have ever considered, especially if you or someone you deeply care about wears daily dentures. Keeping artificial dentures perfectly clean, sanitized, and spotless is an absolute nightmare of a chore, and it is a very common, frustrating issue for folks navigating their 60s and 70s. The hard acrylic materials used to make dentures can easily develop microscopic, invisible scratches over time. These tiny crevices become the absolute, perfect hidden breeding ground for harmful oral bacteria and stubborn fungi, particularly the dreaded Candida yeast. If Candida gets out of control in the mouth, it leads to a highly painful, irritating condition called denture stomatitis. This condition causes the sensitive gums and the soft roof of the mouth to become bright red, terribly swollen, and incredibly sore, making it painful to even eat normally. Clinical studies have actually clearly shown that soaking dentures overnight in a simple water solution containing a few drops of castor oil can drastically and safely cut down on these aggressive fungal issues. The oil contains incredibly potent antifungal properties that actually work to physically break down the strong cell walls of the yeast and actively prevent it from sticking to the porous denture material. It is a brilliant, completely natural, and highly effective way to ensure that when you pop your teeth in the next morning to start your day, you're not accidentally introducing a massive colony of harmful, inflammatory microbe directly into your bloodstream through your sensitive gum tissue. That potent, undeniable antifungal and antibacterial action is truly just one small part of the healing equation. We really have to circle back to the sheer, unparalleled, pain-relieving power of this remarkable oil. Let us say you're lucky enough not to suffer from daily chronic joint pain, but you just spent the entire beautiful weekend aggressively doing heavy yard work, lifting up your growing grandkids, or hauling heavy groceries up the stairs, and now your muscles are absolutely screaming in protest. Applying castor oil directly and generously to those sore, overworked, inflamed muscles acts as a highly effective, natural analgesic. When your body is physically injured, strained, or highly stressed, your immune system instantly triggers an inflammatory response to protect the area. While some acute inflammation is biologically necessary for the initial healing cascade, chronic runaway or excessive inflammation is the undisputed root cause of almost every single modern debilitating disease, from rheumatoid arthritis to complex heart disease. The highly specific fatty acids present in castor oil actively and aggressively block the chemical messengers in your body, known as prostaglandins, that promote this painful runaway inflammation. Whether it is a stiff, throbbing lower back, highly painful menstrual cramps, or even the intense stinging, puffy, red swelling from a terrible mosquito bite or bee sting, thoroughly massaging this thick oil into the skin rapidly increases local blood flow to that specific damaged area. This increased circulation effortlessly flushes out the trapped inflammatory compounds and deeply soothes the aggravated nerve endings. It is honestly just like having an ice pack and a deeply penetrating heating pad combined into one single, natural, easy-to-use liquid remedy. And directly speaking of environmental things that highly irritate the delicate skin, castor oil is also a remarkably formidable opponent against stubborn, unsightly fungal infections like itchy athlete's foot, circular ringworm, or even persistent fungal acne on the face or back. Conventional pharmacy-bought antifungal creams can sometimes be incredibly harsh on the body, severely drying out the surrounding healthy skin and causing painful, unsightly cracking and peeling. Castor oil takes a totally different, much more therapeutic approach. Because it is naturally rich in something called undesalinic acid, a highly studied compound known to forcefully halt the rapid growth and reproduction of fungi, it actively stops the frustrating infection from spreading any further. But simultaneously, as it kills the fungus, it acts as an intense, soothing moisturizer. Fungal infections almost always leave the affected skin feeling cracked, raw, bleeding, and fiercely, unbearably itchy. As the heavy oil actively fights and destroys the actual biological pathogen, it is also instantly soothing that raw, angry skin, carefully repairing the damaged moisture barrier and stopping the maddening itchiness absolutely dead in its tracks. You are getting a highly effective medical treatment and a deeply soothing restorative recovery balm all at the exact same time, working quietly and diligently for 8 uninterrupted hours while you peacefully sleep. This incredibly deep, unmatched moisturizing capability makes castor oil one of the most highly underrated, surprisingly cost-effective, anti-aging and overall skincare secrets on the entire planet. If you are incredibly tired of spending hundreds of hard-earned dollars on tiny, beautifully packaged jars of luxury night creams that confidently promise the world, but still leave your face feeling tight, dry, and distinctly aged, by the time morning rolls around, you really need to look heavily into this natural alternative. As we gracefully age, our skin naturally and inevitably loses its biological ability to retain vital moisture. The protective lipid barrier slowly breaks down, leading directly to the formation of fine lines, thin, crepey-looking skin, and an overall dull, tired complexion. The ricinoleic acid heavily present in castor oil is an absolutely incredible natural humectant. That scientific term means it literally has the power to draw ambient moisture from the air around you and forcefully pull it right down into your skin cells, locking it there securely beneath a thick protective lipid layer. It completely prevents something dermatologists call transepidermal water loss, which is really just a fancy scientific way of describing the rapid evaporation of vital hydration from your face while you toss and turn in your sleep. Because straight, pure castor oil is quite phenomenally thick and notoriously sticky, a lot of savvy people like to carefully cut it with a much lighter, more easily absorbed carrier oil. A fantastic mixture is doing 50% castor oil and 50% organic, cold-pressed almond oil, jojoba oil, or vitamin C-rich rosehip oil. You just gently pat a few small drops of this customized mixture over your entire face, neck, and chest as the absolute final sealing step in your nightly skincare routine. It acts as an occlusive barrier, completely sealing in all your other expensive serums and lighter moisturizers. Yes, your cotton pillowcase might get a little bit shiny over time, but when you wake up and look in the mirror, your skin will feel unbelievably plump, deeply and truly hydrated, and incredibly, youthfully soft. Always remember to do a small, quick patch test on your jawline or inner wrist first, of course, just to absolutely ensure your unique skin loves it as much as the vast majority of people's do. Taking wonderful care of your skin from the outside in is a fantastic practice, but we also have to constantly remember that true, vibrant, lasting health always radiates from the inside out, specifically originating from your incredibly complex gut microbiome. When you consciously utilize topical castor oil packs consistently, not just treating it as an emergency rescue protocol for acute constipation, but incorporating it as a regular, relaxing, weekly wellness practice, you're actually doing a massive, long-term favor for the billions of good bacteria currently living in your digestive tract. When your bowels are moving regularly, predictably, and efficiently, you are actively preventing the dangerous buildup of putrefying, toxic waste in the colon. When waste is allowed to sit in the dark, warm colon for far too long, it creates a highly toxic, hostile environment that actively kills off your vital, beneficial microbes and readily allows opportunistic bad bacteria to rapidly thrive. This overgrowth leads directly to painful, embarrassing gas, severe visible bloating, and widespread systemic inflammation throughout your entire body. By keeping the internal digestive conveyor belt moving incredibly smoothly with a gentle, transdermal, overnight application of castor oil, you are effortlessly maintaining a clean, highly healthy internal environment where your protective, immune-boosting gut flora can easily flourish and multiply. A highly robust, healthy microbiome means significantly better nutrient absorption from the healthy food you eat, a much stronger, more reactive immune system to fight off seasonal bugs, and even a noticeably better, more stable daily mood, simply since so much of our body's feel-good serotonin is actually produced right there in the cells of the gut. Finally, there is one more deeply documented, almost legendary historical use for castor oil that perfectly and dramatically illustrates just how powerfully and definitively it affects the smooth muscles of the human body. For countless generations, experienced midwives and traditional healers have carefully used very small oral doses of castor oil to successfully induce labor in heavily pregnant women who are safely past their official due dates. Because swallowing the oil stimulates such incredibly strong, rapid contractions in the smooth muscle of the intestines, those intense spasms can actually physically irritate and stimulate the directly adjacent uterus, coaxing it into beginning full-blown labor contractions. It also heavily promotes the natural bodily release of prostaglandins, which physically help ripen, soften, and prepare the cervix for the hard work of delivery. Modern clinical studies have actually shown a remarkably huge success rate for women going into natural labor shortly after taking a prescribed dose. However, and this is a massive, incredibly important warning that cannot be overstated, This specific mechanism is exactly why you must treat the oral consumption of this oil with extreme, unwavering respect. Those exact same powerful, unyielding contractions can easily cause severe nausea, terrifying cramping, and extreme physical distress. In any pregnancy context, it should only ever be considered or attempted under the strict, watchful supervision of a licensed medical professional. For everyday anti-aging wellness, daily longevity, and chronic pain management, you should absolutely stick strictly to putting it on your skin, not inside your mouth. The immense topical benefits are so incredibly profound and highly effective that there is simply no logical reason to risk the severe digestive upset and potential dehydration of drinking it. Incorporating this thick, ancient, historically revered oil into your quiet nighttime routine might just be the most surprisingly affordable, highly effective, and deeply transformative health upgrade you can possibly make for yourself this entire year. Whether you are gently massaging a few warm drops into an achy, arthritic knee to finally find some peace, smoothing a custom blend over your face to forcefully lock in youthful hydration, or wrapping your tired abdomen in a warm, comforting flannel pack to lovingly soothe a cranky, unpredictable digestive system, castor oil is a powerful, undeniable testament to the fact that sometimes the old ancestral ways really are the absolute best ways. It is entirely about finally working in harmony with your body's natural innate healing rhythms, rather than constantly and exhaustingly fighting against them with harsh, synthetic, lab-created chemicals. So if you are currently dealing with morning joint stiffness, frustratingly thinning hair, or just a sluggish, tired internal system that desperately needs a gentle, loving reboot, go out and grab a dark glass bottle of high-quality, organic, cold-pressed, hexane-free castor oil and carefully see what it can do for you while you peacefully sleep. If you've ever tried a traditional castor oil pack, or if you use it in your daily skincare routine, I would absolutely love to hear about your unique personal experience in the comments section down below. Did it finally help with your stubborn sleep issues? Did it noticeably calm down your angry digestion? Let us get a great supportive conversation going down there. And if you are actively looking for even more natural, highly scientifically backed, and totally accessible ways to heal your gut and permanently reduce systemic inflammation as we get older, you are definitely going to want to deeply engage with the video that is popping up on your screen right now. Click directly on that box, grab a pen and paper to take some notes, and I will see you right over there.